Jasper. Bingo. Let's go. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate it. We're going to get started now, and we're going to probably quit early, and we're going to give away some cool stuff in a minute, okay? How many of you went to the VR Summit? Come on, wasn't that cool? This one's only about your life. I'm sorry I don't have more toys. But hopefully we'll give you some good information, okay? And it's going to go fast. You guys let me know when you're ready. Yeah, we're streaming this live, so there's an online audience for this as well. We had about, I don't know, we had a good number for the VR Summit. I expect we'll have a few in the remotely tonight watching too. Everybody got a raffle ticket? Jan wants you to win a prize. Nice long answers. Just tell your story. There's no, I'm going to ask you about school, and I'm not asking you to do a commercial for the school. Just talk about how it was and files and just, stuff you don't have to make up. All right. I'm about to. It's on my prompter. We ready to go? Kiyomi, are you my director? Graduation is getting close. For some of us, it's a few months away, but for others, it's coming up in weeks. Are you nervous? Well, don't be. We're here to help. From Academy of Art University's School of Multimedia Communications in San Francisco, this is CommCareers Graduation Edition.
What makes you itch? What sort of a situation would you like? What would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? When we finally got down to something which the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that. And forget the money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living, that is, to go on doing things you don't like doing. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way. And after all, if you do really like what you're doing, it doesn't matter what it is, you can eventually you could eventually become a master of it. The only way to become a master of something is to be really with it. And then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. But it's absolutely stupid to spend your time doing things you don't like in order to go on spending things you don't like and doing things you don't like, and to teach your children to follow in the same track. And so, therefore, it's so important to consider this question: what do I desire?
We're going to think about that tonight. I'm John Scott. I'm Comm's Career Services Manager. I'm an instructor in the graduate program as well. Thank you for joining us. We are streaming live from the theater at our headquarters on New Montgomery in San Francisco, and we're also streaming live on COM's YouTube channel to an online audience around the country. You can use the hashtag COMCareers if you'd like to ask questions of any of our panelists. And you'll find us at academyart.com. Feel free to share your photos on Instagram and Facebook as well. You can find us giving away prizes tonight as well. There's a raffle as soon as we're done tonight. We've got some great DNA headphones to give away. They're about $300 in value. We're going to give you a drone tonight. I wonder if it's that one. I just wonder. It's a mini drone. It's a little bit smaller, but it's a lot of fun, and you can be flying it by 8:15. We've got some free t-shirts from Urban Nights Radio as well for you. I played that movie a lot for students. I played it in my class a million times. Alan Watts, the voice you heard, he was a British-born philosopher who lived and then actually died here in the Bay Area. This essay he wrote called What Makes You Itch was written in the 1970s, but you know what? It remains true for some of us today. It is about doing things that you like to do. Why should you do things that make you unhappy? But it's not exactly about doing what you love. People are giving you the wrong idea about what passion is. Your success after you graduate from this university will be developed by these things. You're going to do some different things, maybe an internship. Maybe you'll shadow someone at a job. Then you're going to discover that you're good at it. That's when the fun starts, because you then learn that you also like doing it. So you're good at it and you like doing it. You dive in. Passion is developed by first doing, failing a lot. Failure is the best part of this. You fail, you try again, you fail a few more times, but you bought and you brought your dreams here. You bought it and you brought it. So we're going to give you some inspiration tonight on how to manage what you're going to do when you get out of here. Our panelists tonight, Ifeoma Odowe. Go back one more. Go back one. Ifeoma Odowe, BA 2015. She's a COM graduate, now working as a traffic reporter and producer for iHeartMedia in San Francisco. Jasper Yu and Pingo Wu are producers and co-founders of Red Q Production in the Bay Area. They were classmates when they started their own company, and now they have an impressive client list. I'm really, really proud of them. They were former students of mine. And before they graduated, they had already written the business plan and gotten going. It took a lot of fear away, I have a feeling. Our industry pro, who because of a personal reason was not able to be with us tonight, but I'll kind of fill in for her. I'm going to make her available to you after this event if you'd like to contact her, because I'm going to make her give away a free job interview to a raffle winner, okay? So we'll do that before we go as well. Please welcome our panelists. First off, let's look at one of the creations of Red Cube Studio. That's great, because you know what you see in that video? You see everything we do in COM, right? Shooting, editing, lighting, setting up, hosting, the whole thing. I'm really proud of both of you, I really am. You were great students, and you had the ability to think a little bit ahead. Let's get this started now. First, tell me about school. I'm not asking you to do a commercial for the university, but what was it like in that final semester before you're getting ready to graduate and you were doing all this? Jasper, start with you.
Yeah. Actually, school teach me how to get ready for this, for the real world, you know. It's school also teach me to design our business card, design our logo in the class,
Thank you, Manny Ramos.
Yeah, I
for
learned a
doing
lot.
that for you.
Yeah.
Both of you, please tell us, how did it get started? What were you doing? Were you in class? How did the company come to life while you were inside this building?
So we graduate in last year, but we start our company when we was in school. And we both have the idea to build a startup.
It was Pingo's idea, right?
Yeah, it should be, but
I think actually we are classmates since high school. Yeah.
You've been classmates since high school?
Yes.
and the college classmate and the classmate in here.
Wow.
So we know each other.
We are
12
not
years.
couple. Yeah.
That
You
was
don't
my-
have to say that.
That was my next question.
Yeah. So it's about 12 years. It's
Where are you from?
from China.
So you have been high school classmates, you made it across the world into a comm class, and now you're running a business. That's pretty incredible. How did it start, Pingo?
How that start?
About the conversations. What started the conversations about
There's one day I'm hungry and he said, "Oh, I also hungry." So we drive to another Popeyes, and on the way we said, "Let's start a company. We learn everything, and why not try? If we don't start the company, after graduate we have 1 year for the OPT, right?
Mhm.
I want some memory in US, and we want to bring something back to show up. Yeah,
So if you stay here and do this, you're going to be hiring yourself,
yeah.
sort of, right?
Right now we hire ourselves.
How many people work for RedQ?
It's 15 employee right now, full-time.
Full-time jobs.
Okay.
Full-time, yeah.
And by the way, they're going to be hiring pretty soon. Did I get that right? Maybe they might hire you. What was the biggest difference between, so you went to, did you go to college together too? Your bachelor's degree?
Yeah.
That's incredible. What was different about coming here and doing the Comm Masters program? Because did you have communications degrees when you got your BA?
Yeah, right.
Okay. What was different about coming here?
For me, we have other like different angle, but for me, I think the most learn is from how to be a producer here, and how to, I don't know why I learned business in the, yeah, and learn how to talk with the client in the in multimedia.
Comm 610,
Yes.
where you had a real client and
And-
you have to produce something and they have to approve it,
Yes.
and then if they like it, it would run on YouTube or wherever they wanted to run it.
Yes, and another is Com 6999, right?
Yeah.
That's Com 699, and our class teacher is Peter. And he tell us like how to make a movie or make a video from start to pick up the ideas, and for 1 month we created a new documentary.
You've made about 100 videos, you said,
Yeah,
so far?
yeah.
Most of your clients are in China. Why?
Because we speak Mandarin, it's more better than.
Convenient for us.
Yes.
Are you cheaper than
And
if they were to hire
no, not
a
really.
native company?
Not really.
Not really, okay.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, RedCube, these two will be reviewing student portfolios. They switch from students to employers very rapidly. That's why I'm so proud of them. And how'd you like to present your portfolio in front of some peers? So I've invited them to be among a whole bunch of industry pros, which will be reviewing resumes and reels at Spring Show coming up at our Gerald building on May 13th. Let's see another example of your work. This clip is a commercial for a headphone company, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, let's watch that now.
One more.
One More is the brand,
Yeah, it is.
and it's endorsed by The Voice,
Yeah.
the TV show in China.
Voice of China, right. So now so many Chinese companies want to rebuild their brand, and they want to rebuild the brand in US market. And so that's why we're here, and we find this opportunity to make a business.
Do you do bilingual content? Do you do content in English and Mandarin, or just Mandarin?
We do it both.
Either both, okay. I recall you guys work with drones, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you two win an award? Tell me about the award you won.
That's a competition. Yeah. So we saw the award online. So we built a team, small group team, about 10 people, without any budget. So we invite some friends and some employees from our companies, and we just attended into it. But we got lucky, I think.
And you won second place in this national contest. That's right. Give them some love. Well done. Why?
Thank you.
Release the drone. Release the drone. We got to get out of the way. I want you to see this thing fly. All right, let's get out of here.
So this is DJI Inspire 1.
Steve Cotton said that. Steve Cotton said he was just at the Consumer Electronics Show. He said there were so many drones on display that it was actually windy inside the building because there were all these drones flying around. Here's the good news. Guys, you can come back and sit down too. I'll have you explain this. It's anticipated that 75,000 jobs will be created this year in drone production. Next slide, please. Al. So maybe you ought to take a class if you're not ready to graduate just yet. We have two of them offered. Come $4.99, and for grad students come $6.99. We do it. We give you a little drone to fly around, and we teach you two different things, which is very interesting because back in the day, you were a camera man, now a camera person, or you were a producer, or you were a host. Now you have to learn how to be a pilot. That's two very different skills. We're going to teach you how to be a pilot, and then we're going to teach you how to shoot video when that thing's up in the air. And you've seen the videos. It's incredible what these things can do. Tell us about this one.
Yeah.
Where's it made? Who does it? How does it work?
This is the DJI Inspire 1. It's so DJI is biggest drone company in the world, and so this mode is pretty useful for us. It's stable, and with a 4K camera on it, we can shoot the raw footage on it. So pretty useful. And just come to learn to fly it. We are hiring the people to fly it.
They're hiring. That's great. Next slide, please. If Gabrielle were here, this is what she'd tell you. Now, this is something that you might not think about. What Gabrielle does is she works for the Creative Group. Her job description is digital recruiting at universities. There are a lot of people who will help you find a job. Now, yes, you have to pay them, but it's an option for you. If you want to talk after this, or at some point you're interested in it, people like her find people like you. She interviews you. She likes you. She brings you in and then presents your work to clients. So she does the introductions for you. You go in and do the interview later. So it's a pretty good deal, and it's one thing in your toolbox. Next slide, please. Next one. Sorry, thank you. Let's introduce you to Ifoma. She's been sitting here patiently and quietly. iHeartMedia is the largest owner of radio stations in the U.S. They also own the iHeart Radio app, which some of you may or may not have on your phone. They use the collective audiences of its radio stations to do these big-scale promotions, like if you like country music, they're having a big deal for country fans. And in Miami, they're having a pool party on May 21st, and they'll get famous pop singers or rappers to come and play by the pool, and they have contests and everything. So they've aggregated the resources of 800 radio stations around the country to put on these big kind of parties. Now, what Ifoma does is something absolutely essential. She's a traffic reporter, and she produces traffic information for the radio stations. What's it like telling people that the freeway's a mess?
Well, it's very interesting actually because when I first became a traffic producer at iHeartRadio, I didn't realize like the terminologies and the stuff you have to learn, and areas in the Bay Area that have like nicknames that some people may not be aware of.
We should show them that iHeartMedia tries to keep on top of everything. Yesterday, they had a weed stream. Go ahead. For 420, they had a weed stream, so they streamed, I don't know, pot-themed music all day from this special channel. Of all the things invented in the Bay Area, by the way, the term 420 was invented in the Bay Area by San Rafael High School students in 1970, and it's lived on to this day, of course. How'd you get your job?
So how I got my job is my very last semester at the academy. I started interning at KTVU, and then I made some connections at KTVU. So when I made those connections at KTVU, I saw that there was an opening as a traffic reporter for iHeartMedia. So when I went ahead and applied, they looked at who my references were, they gave me a call, and I got an interview.
Did you feel like you were prepared when you went in for the interview? I mean, everybody's nervous, of course, but did you feel like you were ready?
I honestly did. When I was reading the job description, I was like, this is everything that I learned while at school, so why not go for it?
Was it weird coming back in now that you've been gone for a while?
Really not. It kind of felt familiar. I was like, oh, because the building iHeart is right on Townsend, so it's right around the corner from one of the academy buildings.
Was the learning curve steep, trying to figure out how to get all the data in? Because what iHeart also does is they monetize this content by selling it to, I think, BMW and some other companies, right? The navigation data that's on the screens in BMW is being done by people like her in real time, and it updates in people's cars in real time. Was the software hard to figure out?
Oddly not. It's so weird. Their audio that they use for voice audio is called Goldwave. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but I feel like Final Cut and Pro Tools and stuff like that is actually easier to use. I feel like Goldwave was an older system.
Mm-hmm. So you have to have knowledge of the Bay Area streets. You have to get the exits right and not mispronounce them, because people will know that she's from out of town.
Yes. Oddly, that was the hardest thing about my job. Was it's funny that I work in traffic and I am horrible at directions. So now working there, I feel like I have gotten a lot better.
Mm-hmm. So you did an internship as well. Did you do it for credit?
I did it for credit, yes.
Did it for credit. That's one less class you have to take. It's really a pretty good deal. We'll probably mention this one other time before we go, but if you passed your midpoint and you have a 3.0 GPA, you are eligible to do one of your electives as an internship. And sometimes when you get in the building, they want to keep you, right? Sometimes if you've proven that you're good, you may be set up for something even before you graduate. And an internship for international and domestic students is a fabulous, fabulous way to do that. Did you feel like your portfolio was prepared the way they wanted to see it? I used to work for iHeart back in the day, so I actually know the person that hired her, but when she reviewed your material, did she say, yep, this is good, everything is good?
Yeah, when she looked at my resume, she really liked the layout of my resume. And I remember, like, I bothered Richard Hart, like, several times, like, please look over this, please look over this. Even before, like, I went on interview, I made sure, like, he double-checked it. So I think that was, since it was easy scannable, she really liked seeing the information.
Sounds good. Press it twice, and the first slide will come up. Okay? So, here's some things that you gotta know. What I hear from people, and everyone claims to be an expert on millennials. I think it's ridiculous. People that are 20-something are not a homogenous group. They don't all think the same. They do share some things about what they want out of a job, but everybody is different. But there's one thing you got to do when you apply for a job. You got to be an adult, and you have to do things a certain way. When you write a cover letter, it's got to be customized. You can't cut and paste it. LinkedIn is so amazing to find hiring managers. You can almost find the person who's hiring for the job, send them a note with their name on it. Cut and paste, I'm interested in working for your company. That's not good. Next one. Here's the thing about typos. Students actually argue with me about typos. Oh, it's okay. I say, no, it's actually not okay. If I send Jan an email with a typo, sometimes she might correct me because she wants it to be right. If we're making a presentation, if we're talking to other departments, if we're talking to President Stevens or whatever, it's got to be right. If it's misspelled, it says one thing. I didn't take the time to look. I didn't care that much. And believe it or not, if a 22-year-old hires you and there's typos on your resume, you're not going to get hired. It's not about old people saying you have to be perfect. It's about being professional. That's what it means. Spell check, show it to a friend. My own resume had a typo in it. Mine, I do this for a living. It just means that you miss something sometimes. So you have to just double check and make sure that it looks as professional as you want people to think you are. The next thing is when they ask all the questions on the form, you got to fill out the whole form. What hiring managers have told Richard and I is that a lot of times people don't fill out all the information they ask for. We should spend just a quick second on salary. That is a brutal question. How much do you want to get paid? Right? Did they ask you that, by the way?
They had a set fee for that job.
They had a
Yeah,
set
they
fee
had-
for it.
yeah,
And they told you that during the interview. The job pays this.
correct.
If you don't know how much it pays, they're still going to ask you, and they expect you to fill in that box. If you don't fill in the box, they're going to reject your application because they want to know, what does this person think they're worth? Now, you and I get worried when we see that box. Well, if I go too high, they won't like me, or if I go too low, I won't be able to pay rent in the most expensive metropolitan area on planet Earth, right? Glassdoor.com. Just trying, I don't have a slide for it, but remember Glassdoor. Glassdoor does a couple of things really well. People who are currently working at the company you might want to work at give secret reviews of what it's like there. And believe me, there are some places that say, this place sucks, don't ever come here. And there are also people that say, this place is awesome, they've taken great care of me. Real world reviews from current and former employees, and you can also put in salary information. People that have worked there share with Glassdoor how much they made. It's private because their name's not attached to it. They don't ask for your name. So you can get an idea of what that job might pay in the Bay Area so that you can fill in that box with a number that you think might be right. Because believe me, companies know exactly to the penny how much they want to pay you. There's no question. How much they're willing to pay you depends on how you negotiate, but filling out all the stuff in the form is very important. Next, prepare for the interview like getting the job means everything. Some of you might have some loans. Some of you don't. Some of you need those big inconveniences in life like food and a roof over your head, and a job needs to do that. Maybe you will have to do something for a little while to, survive. That, of course, is normal. Here's the thing. A lot of people forget to do a lot of just really basic research. You got to know, what kind of drones do you make? How many models do you have? Where are your offices? That's just real simple stuff that tells them that you took enough time to do a little research and you know what you're talking about, because when you go in, you're going to talk about how you are a solution to a problem they might have. Maybe their videos aren't that great. Maybe they need a better social strategy. You're the person that can be the answer for that. And the next thing is, immediately, a thank you note. Dear Jan, it was nice to see you. Thank you for talking with me. I'm really excited about the opportunity. I look forward to talking to you about it more. That's it. You don't have to say anything else. You can maybe write in a little something that says, I enjoyed hearing about the fact that you're opening up a new Los Angeles office. That's awesome. It just shows that you paid attention. That professionalism about proofreading and spell checking and doing a little research, it just shows because the recruiter or the hiring manager is saying to you, give me a reason to get you out of here. They're not doing it because they're mean. a lot of people apply for jobs, so when you do your preparation, you're going to be great. Did you anticipate what kind of questions you were going to be asked? Did you kind of practice it in your head before you started?
Yeah, I did, because I did the research on the company, because I remember I sat here last year at ComCareers, and I was taking notes on what I should prepare for. So I looked into the company, kind of guessed what they will ask me. Also contacted Richard, asked Richard, like, can you help prepare me, like, for this interview? And he was very helpful, so it's good to keep in contact with, like, old teachers, because they do give you some advice and some help when you're trying to move forward on those interviews.
She's right about that. Your teachers are your best network right now. Before you build a lot of friends through various networking, Richard and Jan and I and Steve and all of your instructors, they work in the business. They have a lot of connections. And if you've done really well in a class and you say, hey, could you help me out? Here's what's going to happen. They're going to say yes. If you've proven through homework and teamwork, working with others, right, that you kind of took this seriously, or at least you got your assignments in on time. Because if you got your assignments in on time, you'll get your work done on time. Those two things are connected together. Now that you've done it for a while, what do you think you might do next? Have you thought about it?
I have thought about it. I actually wanted to do traffic reporting on TV, so that was trying to be my next step to see if I can get like a news station in the Bay Area. That's where I'm trying to go.
How many stations are you on the air with?
Right now I'm doing reports on Sirius XM, and I'm trying to work my way up to do the reports on the other stations like CBS and the 98.1 or 106.
Okay, very good. Remember to stick around for the drawing after. I hope everybody's got your ticket. We've got a little mini drone to give away and some DNA headphones and also free t-shirts from our fabulous Urban Nights radio station. As we approach spring show, comm students will get to sit in front of Jasper and Pingo and a whole bunch of other people from large, medium, and small companies around the country, around the region. They are people who hire people. So the people that you who are graduating from 495 and 690, you're going to get first crack at these industry pros at 10 a.m. on Monday, the 23rd. And it's just you and them. You'll be able to go around and talk to different people. The stakes are high, actually, because we've had people who have gotten hired at Spring Show because of the presentation that they made at the show. So you'll want to have everything right. What kind of people will you be hiring? What kind of people are you looking for? What skills will they have?
People who have creative ideas. That's a really main important things. So everybody in the company could give ideas to clients.
Are you an advertising agency at your core?
Kind
or
of.
You're a production house,
Yeah,
but you do creative for clients like
sure.
the headphone, right?
Yeah, right.
So what specialties would they have that would make you want to hire them? Are you looking for great video editors, for example? I'm looking for something kind of specific. What talents will they have that you would like?
I think for small company, if they are coming from like multimedia, I will open another door for them because I know what they learn from their class, and they know everything about like every step about the production. So we will hire someone like from here.
Okay. Many times students feel that they have to have a resume that makes them really stand out. Students love logos. I mean, I'm so intrigued by that. People like to take their initials and make them into a logo. In all these years of doing it, it's only recently that the logoization of resumes has come across. Now, if you have it on your website that you built for $4.95 or $6.90 or on your own, that's fine. You're going to be handing pieces of paper to these people, and the answer is pictures and fonts and crazy colors. The answer is no, and then no, and then no again. Let me show you this. I did a Google search for worst resume ever, and this is the one that came up. Ifoma, you want to take a shot? What's wrong with that resume?
First thing, don't ever put a picture unless
Why?
you're going to be on camera talent. It just don't.
This resume is for coding people, you know.
She put her social security number on her resume, and she also wanted to let us know that she's a Presbyterian. That gives me some comfort. She put her mailing address, just bad, all bad. Go ahead.
The multicolors are also distracting. It's not easily scannable.
If you uploaded this to a typical company's HR server, what would show up on their desks would be unrecognizable. It would blow up the fonts, the symbols wouldn't match. We have to assume that you think every company has software that's 2016. No, some companies have stuff that's like old, like 2010, and that resume is just the worst possible of everything. What we're looking for is we want to have, just pick a font, not Comic Sans, but pick a font. Consistent across the whole resume. Some people worry, should I have one page? Okay, fine. If you've done a lot of stuff, if you've done a lot of great volunteer work and you made media, well, put it on there because that is your experience. And it is also worth mentioning, don't be afraid of an ad that says 3 to 5 years experience wanted. You see that all the time, right? Have you looked at job posts and said, guess I'm out? Here's why that's a lie. It's almost always a lie. Companies put 3 to 5 years experience wanted because of two things. They want to weed out people who are unqualified. So that gets rid of half of them right there. But you have attended university. You have worked on projects with teammates, classmates. You've done real-world videos for clients. You've maybe volunteered to do an event, or you ran camera at something, or you shot a basketball or a volleyball game. Guess what? That counts as experience, and in my book, you have 3 to 5 years experience. So when you're laying out your resume, don't forget about school. It's not about advertising that you're a student, but you did a lot of stuff here. We made you do all those assignments. Some of them need to go on your resume as proof that you know how to do what you're doing. Here are Richard Hart's resume rules, very briefly. What we do is how we put this together is the reason why this isn't BS is because Richard talks to people who have hired comm students, specifically comm students, and he says, what do you want? And this is what they said they want you to do. Top down, make your name really big at the top. A profile is not an objective. A profile is kind of your summary. Let's practice just for fun, and there's no stress. Ifoma, tell me a little bit about you. It's like the first interview question. What's up with you?
So I'll say my name is Ifoma Odwe, and I'm a multimedia specialist. Right now I'm specializing in radio and producing.
What would you like to learn more about? Yeah.
What I would like to learn more about is probably anchoring. That's what I want to learn more about.
It's okay to say that when you start an interview. It's kind of like a cocktail party or meeting someone at a bar or at someone's house. When they don't know you, they'll come up and they'll shake your hand. They go, hey, nice to meet you. And then that next question kind of hangs out there. Well, what's up? Right? Hey, if you're on a date, if you just met someone that's tremendously attractive and you'd like to talk to them some more, you got to have an opener. What it really is it's just a quick summary about why you're here, what you're doing right now. And yours was really good because you weren't expecting me to ask you, but she said she makes content on multiple platforms with a specialty
In radio and producing.
right now. And she'd like to learn more about,
Anchoring.
there you go, summary. No company wants to hire the perfect person because it doesn't exist. They just want to hire you. But they need to know what's up with you. Because when you kind of sit in those chairs, do you remember what Ellen asked you when she just first sat down? You walked into the office, you shook hands, you sat down. What did she say to you?
That's odd, because really the first thing she did say to me is, so what do you do?
There you go. It's 20 seconds. This doesn't have to be you're not writing a book. But I will tell you that I wrote mine for my LinkedIn profile like 20 times because I hated it every time I looked at it. But you can pretty much recite that anywhere now, right? I'm working in radio. I might want to be in TV. I work at iHeart on Townsend. She's got all the stuff. I'm studying multi-platform communications. I'm doing social media, I'm editing video, and I'm shooting stuff, and I'm working on teams. You didn't say anything about, you know, I got a B- in this class, or I don't like that one person on my team right now. You're just saying, this is what I do. If you have a LinkedIn profile and it says student on it, take it off tomorrow. That one little headline that says student, what that says to employers is, I don't know what I want yet. I'm a multi-platform content creator with specialties in blah, blah, blah. You know, they give you like 160 characters at that top LinkedIn. You'll see on really good profiles, people use all of it. Tell us who you are, because that's one of the first things that recruiters look at when they scrape LinkedIn looking for qualified people. If it says student and it doesn't even say multimedia, it doesn't tell them anything, and they're going to pass you by. All right. The next one. We'll go through this quick. Don't ever put what your objective is. Your objective is to get a job, and they know that, so don't waste the space. Your experience, where you worked, what time. Believe you me, if you scuba dive, put that on your resume. If you ride horses or know how to drive a stick shift, put that on your resume. That sounds ridiculous, but Richard will tell you, and he'll tell you again and again and again, maybe your hiring manager is a great scuba diver, and that's why you put it on. Your hobbies and interests have nothing to do with the job. It tells us about you as a person, but wouldn't that be great if the scuba diving hiring manager said, so tell me about your gear, and the next thing you know, you're talking about a lot more stuff, and you're making a connection. That's why we put that on there. Especially for people that are like acting and stuff or want to do commercials. If you drive a stick shift, you may be eligible for a car commercial because they may need you to drive. And that's one less question they have to ask. That's why that's on there. Your major is not your education. Your education needs to go on the bottom. Yeah, you worked hard, you paid for it, you earned it. But they're not going to hire you based on your education. Your major is the things that you did while you were here. That's important to remember. Your major are the skills that you learned while in this program. It's not what you got. They're going to ask you in LinkedIn to put, you know, Academy of Art Multimedia 2016, fine. But on a resume, it's about the stuff you did. Did you tutor? Did you write for the school paper? Did you shoot at a ComCareers event? That qualifies again as experience. Next one. And the last three. Now this is interesting. Some international students have email addresses with a lot of numbers in it. In case you don't know, that's a cultural thing. And you'll see a lot of serious email addresses that may have a lot of numbers in it. What I would recommend is Mary 366478692 might be easy for you to remember, but because you're interviewing in the West, Jasper you at Gmail would be a great, or at Red Cube Studio, that's your email address. It's professional. It's professional and it's tailored for your audience, which is here in the West. How long is a web page? They're infinite now. Don't get hung up on length. If it's on your website, who cares how long it is? If you're paranoid, you want to just do a great summary, or if you don't have a ton of experience and just want to highlight a few things, fine, do one page. What the recruiters and people want to see is just good information. If it's 3 pages and it's all good, they're going to love you. And as Ifoma said, don't put your picture on unless you're applying for a job as an on-camera talent, because in the state of California, if you put your picture on your resume and you're applying to be a video editor, it'll get thrown away because you can sue for discrimination because maybe they didn't like the way you looked. So that's why it's important to never, ever put your picture, unless you want to be an on-camera host. Then, of course, be happy to do that. Let's look at some reels. This is an example of what we think is a pretty good one.
it hurts. It hurts a lot. Oh, we have a farm. All we know how to do is cook.
The flower. Not bad.
Panel, what did you like about it? Start with you, Falman.
I like the variety of shots that they had in there. I thought they were really nice.
Pingo?
I think I like he he can do like editor and also he can do After Effects. It's very useful for us.
You agree? Here's a couple things that were in there that needed to be in there. Natural sound. You could hear him tap on the, right? Natural sound's very important. And then they had a piece of an interview. And she edited it really well, too. It had nice flow. She had music, because everyone likes to use music in their videos, but including that natural sound is what really, it stands out. It makes a real point, especially if the edit is good. All right, let's look at Danielle Caldera Lozano's reel now. She's still in school.
Siento que el diseño gráfico te despierta la creatividad, te despierta más ideas.
You've seen their failures and triumphs.
I honestly think it was your best performance. You've made so much improvement from the first time you got on stage. Cause I just haven't met you yet.
But tonight, who will take home the prize?
Hi, my name's Daniela Caldera, and I'm the founder and creator of Swish. When I was first coming up with the idea for this app, I thought back to the first time that I got my first smartphone.
Did it freeze? It might have frozen up. In what you saw of that, what did you like?
Oh, it's funny because I actually had class with Danielle, so yeah, I really liked her work. I like how she wasn't afraid to use natural sound in there. I feel like her cutting to natural sound and music flowed together very well.
What did you two think about it? Jasmine?
Some beautiful shots and good camera angles.
I think for the opening, for the beginning of the video, it's very good. So he can catch up our eyes from the beginning.
She did a
Yeah.
pitch for her app in her reel, but she did it in a way that was really fast and to the point. And Richard had sent this to me this morning. He said, I'm very impressed with how she described it. It was just a perfect description. And if someone was interested in having someone with Danielle's capabilities, she just sold them. Here's the next reel. This is from a student that doesn't go here to the school. There's the logo with the initials.
Hello, I'm Dan Eldridge. I'm a recent graduate of Full Sail University's Digital Cinematography Bachelor's Degree program. Then I learned a great deal of different skills at Full Sail, such as storyboarding, lighting, camera operation, composition, and editing. I pride myself on my ability to direct people. So you're probably thinking that I'm only a director. Not exactly. You see, through my experience as a United States Marine and as a law enforcement officer, I've learned what works when you're other people. You can be assured that I can diplomatically make your crew more efficient while making the workflow move seamlessly. Despite my uncanny
Okay. I think we've seen enough. You can go to the next slide, Hal. I'm really good with people, and I will be a great manager. We're not being too hard on him. He's a student trying to do it, but The reason why we show you is because he put it on the internet, so it's public for us to watch. But I think the panel would agree that most all of it was wrong, and the audio was terrible too. So he looked a little frightened. What trends do you think are coming in the industry? Now that you've taken classes, now that you've been working out in the world for a little while, what do you think might be kind of the next thing?
Honestly, I am starting to notice, just like working at my job for the short amount of time, they are starting to downsize a lot. So they are looking for people who are multi-platform. So they're looking for a person that has more than one talent and can do more than one thing for the company.
Mm-hmm. Besides drone production, which you folks are doing at Red Cube, what do you think is kind of going to be the next big thing? Just based on what you know. What do you think is going to be really popular coming soon?
So it's VR and drone.
VR and drone.
It's going bigger right now.
This is going to be huge for future graduates. Let's show. Look at this. Is the S7 out yet? It is out now? Okay, so look what they're marketing it as, a virtual reality machine. Steve just got back from Big Electronics Show, and he said that they had an entire area of the convention center set up just for VR. And those of you that were here and saw some of the amazing stuff, we have a response to that, of course. We're always expanding our curriculum because we want to stay current. We talk to people in the industry, we figure out what they want, and then we offer classes for it. So, take VR classes. That's the next thing. So tell your advisor, you want to take Comp 498, which is VR production, and then for grad students, Comp 695. It will be, is it available in the summer too, Jan? Or just fall? Summer as well. Okay, very good. So if you're not ready to graduate yet, use this, because there are going to be thousands of jobs. 2016 is the year of the drone, it's the year of VR, and it's also the year of augmented reality. Take a look at this. This is a Florida startup that's doing a demo. Augmented reality is imposing computer images in the real world. There's nothing virtual about it. They're switching charts and graphs. This is a Florida startup called Magic Leap, and people in the industry say that they may have figured out how to do it. Microsoft has an augmented reality headset called the HoloLens as well. Think about the kind of storytelling that's going to be done on these kind of platforms. Where can you put logos to monetize it? You're going to tell there's going to be virtual reality television and cinema. Augmented reality apps to take you through your physical real
Everest
world.
conquered. The New Zealander Edmund Hillary got his first mail and congratulatory telegrams from George Lowe, a fellow countryman and expedition colleague. Us 35 miles from Kathmandu, capital.
You can see it on YouTube. They just hit Magic Leap. It goes on for a few more minutes. But it's the future, like you are. You're the future. This is very exciting. It's fun doing my job because the best part of my job is having you run back into my office and say, hey, I got that internship. That's what we're supposed to do. If you help yourself, we're going to be a great team. From our panel, before we go, if you could give students one piece of advice, give me a short paragraph. Remember what your experience has been like here, and if you're going to give them one piece of advice before they graduate, drop the knowledge. You can go first.
I would say start applying as soon as you can. Even if you're not a senior, start applying for jobs now. Get a head start on it. Make good connections with your classmates and your teachers, because they are the connection into the industry, and they can help you get interviews and get internships if you just have that good connection with them.
Okay. I would say just start and don't wait. And if you want to prepare everything before you start, it takes time.
Bingo.
My God, I think I would say if you want to start internship as soon as possible, and we also hire the internship. When people like finish an internship in our company, we always hire them because we already teach them for 1 month for the internship, everything about that.
You're going to hire employees, or are you also going to bring on interns?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds good. Your CompCareer office is here to get you set up with what you need for spring show and internships, interviews, resumes, and by the way, there's something called an externship. That may be a new word for you. An externship is something I'm going to really try to work. It's where you go into a company and you follow someone around for a few days. You just shadow them. It's really popular in the legal and in the medical professions, but I think there's some nice media people, especially former students, that wouldn't mind showing you around for a couple of days. And when you get to know each other a little bit better, maybe that opens an opportunity for you. You can contact me on Snapchat or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, whatever you like. We can make an appointment to talk about you and what you want to do. You can join the private LinkedIn group too for job posts, and there's networking with other students. And by the way, LinkedIn this week just dropped a new mobile app for iOS and Android called LinkedIn Students. It takes away all there's no articles, there's no advice, it's just job listings. LinkedIn Students. It's in the Apple Store and in the Google Play Store as well. LinkedIn realized that it was trying to be everything to everyone, so they stopped doing it, and this is targeted exactly at students and millennials. LinkedIn Students, so you can find it on both those things. I think it's time to go. We got some stuff to give away. Your advice was awesome. Thank you for joining us. To our ComTech crew, those guys are awesome, and the AV team for bringing you this live streaming event and live event inside the 79 New Montgomery Theater. The raffle is coming up next, and for our folks in the audience, thank all of you for watching. I'm John Scott. We'll see you next time. Good night. Thank you. Time for raffle.